Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So by now you have read the purpose of life. So what's the purpose of life? There's many actually philosophers and many people. Where is the rest of the class? Got lost on the way. Many of the philosophers try to create purpose of life. So they say there's no purpose why we are here, so we will create our own purpose. So some like the American create the purpose of life is to control all the world. So no government can do anything we don't agree for. So we want to take Panama back, we will take Panama Canal back, we'll take Greenland, and we will take the Middle East. So this is their mentality, unfortunately. We take over the rest of the world. The Zionist wants to take Palestine and Jordan and Lebanon and part of Egypt and Syria and create Israel. This is the purpose of their life. They think they are the chosen nation. Then you have people like the Chinese think that they should be leading the world and selling everything, and everybody should buy from them. So each one have his own purpose of life, and then you have to cope with these people with these mentalities. And on a smaller scale, some dictators appear in countries and they own the country. We're all slaves, you have to obey and follow instructions. But what's the purpose in life in the Quran? Why Allah created us? What did He say in the Quran, the purpose of our existence? So, can you see from there? Can you read? So the purpose of life, which I managed to collect from the Quran, like the first one is to discover Allah Azza wa Jal, the creator and sustainer. Because by nature, every child born will come, a day will come when he comes to his mom and dad and asks, where did I come from? How did I come to be your child? And where did you find me? Where did you collect me from? If you're dark-skinned, your mom will say it's from a bag of coal. If you are light-skinned, then say a bag of cotton. But really, to say where did we come from? And scientists start looking backward. At the beginning, they thought that the universe in a static state theory. What's static state? What static state means? Has been like this all the time, no change. The sun was there all the time, and the moon moving around the earth moving around the sun, that's it, from eternity. And then they discovered that it's not. How they discovered that?
With the Big Bang Theory.
How they discovered there should be a Big Bang? By observing the sky, the earth moves around the sun once a year. So when the earth is here, planet earth, and the sun is there, and the earth moves around the sun once every year. So when you are here, you look into the sky and you see stars. When you see stars, you move for a year, and you come back to the same spot, and you find that the stars are far away from each other. So the stars moved, which means that they're going far away from each other. They're going out in space. And when they took the light shift of these stars, they found that they're going towards the blue side of it. So they're going far away from each other. If you have a turtle here, was here, and she's over there by the end of the field, how do you know the speed of that turtle? When was the turtle here? How can you discover that? Because the turtle moved from here to there. It took time. So they went and saw how many meters the turtle will move per minutes, 1 meter. So 500 meters passed in how many minutes? One meter per minute, 500 meters, 500 minutes, yeah? So 500 minutes ago, the turtle was here. So they looked into the universe. If it's going in that speed, because the star was here, became here, was here, became here. So backward, when was the universe one piece? They said, calculated, it's 13.7 billion year. So they fixed that. That 13.7 billion years ago, the universe one piece exploded, your Big Bang, and moving away from each other. So it's mathematic phenomena. It's just pencil and pen and you combine. So, but what was there, where they come from? These would explode, they were not there and created. Because if they were there, they would have exploded long time ago. They, by now, if it was eternal, they would have been far away from each other that you can only see our sun in the sky. The other stars would have gone, moved, because they exploded ages ago. But they said, no, it exploded 13.7 billion years ago because we're still seeing them. Yeah? But what were there before the Big Bang? Oh, some say, oh, well, primordial soup. How the primordial soup turned into hydrogen, and the hydrogen started exploding, fusing, changing to helium, whatever. Then they said, no, there were no primordial soup, and there were no infinite universes either, because infinite universes will be dead universes or living. If they are living, where are they? And Allah Azza wa Jal sent the messenger to say that He created this. So the messengers were showing us that Allah created things from nothing through what? How the messengers proved to us that Allah creates from nothing. Yeah?
Adam? Like they told the story of Adam.
He created Adam, yeah, but how the messengers after Adam, like Ibrahim and Nuh and Musa and Isa and Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, how they proved to us that Allah creates from nothing. Have you heard of Musa hitting the stone, getting water out of the stone? Yeah? It's in the Quran. Musa, when these people wanted water, they were lost in the desert for 40 years. They don't want water. Allah Azza wa Jalla said to him, hit the stone, the water comes out of the stone from nowhere. From nowhere. So they were carrying the stone. Whenever they want water, Musa hit the stone. Water comes out. When Salih was challenged to prove that Allah creates from nothing, what did he do? Prophet Salih, alayhi salatu wassalam. What did he do? Come on. Yeah?
Was it, I don't know if it's right, but was it the she camel?
Yeah. He hit the rock, and from inside the rock, a she camel came pregnant also. From nothing. How? There's no way that an animal will live inside a rock. Will be straight away dead because no oxygen. So when Isa alayhi salatu wasalam, they asked him to drop a table full of food, ma'ida min as-sama, the Last Supper. Allah Azza wa Jal created, Allah created straight away, take one. Allah created a table full of food, and they all ate from it. They call it the Last Supper. It's in Surah Al-Ma'idah. انزل علينا مائدة من السماء تكون لنا عيدا لأولنا وآخرنا. So this came from heaven, and it dropped on top of them. And Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam did a lot of these. When he was asked for water, we ran out of water. He said, bring me whatever water you have. And he put his hand in it, and the water starts multiplying, gushing between his fingers. When he was invited for a meal and there were only 2 chicken, all the army ate from the chicken and they were hardly touched. So the food was created automatically. So that happened many times. Out of nowhere, things that Allah creates in front of them. Allah creates from nothing, and this is how the universe came. How Allah can do that, we don't know. He's just done it. So he created the universe, created all the 7 heavens, created the throne. Allah is there to create, and He is one of the purpose for us to, in life, to discover Allah Azza wa Jal, the creator and sustainer, who is keeping the earth moving around the sun in that precise speed, 365 and a quarter day. Who make the moon moves. SubhanAllah, the moon not only move around the earth, he moves around the earth and he changed directions. He's changed canopy. He changed, Allah said about the moon that what's called in Arabic a setting. It has several settings. Sometimes the moon will be in the middle of the sky. Sometimes you see the moon in the south of the earth. Sometimes moves the north of the earth. So every time, and then it moves in precise movement that you can calculate how long before there is a next eclipse. And they will tell you where the next eclipse is going to be. Fully seen in so-and-so place in USA, so-and-so place in Asia, and across the sea, whatever. It was full eclipse, nearly full eclipse back in 1997 in Britain. It became cold and dark and things. So the sustainer making the movement precise. The amount of water rains on land is exactly the same every year. So you have the water come out of the ocean, drop on land, go back to the ocean. Precise amount. Different amounts dropped on earth in different places, but the total amount of rain is the same. Why is that? How can you be sure of that?
The water cycle. The water cycle.
Yeah, how you can be sure that the same amount of water drops every year on land?
You measure it.
Can you measure? Everybody tell us how much rain you dropped on your house.
Or the rise in sea level.
Sea level, yeah. Otherwise the sea would have dried. And where's the ocean gone? Oh, all dropped on top of Russia and China. But it's not. Drops and go back to the sea, precise amount. And unless man interfere, vegetation will carry on, replacing itself. The amount of trees come back to life is exactly the same like those who die. But because man started cutting the Amazon forest and the land forest and things, we ran out of enough trees to generate oxygen and take away the carbon dioxide. This is why they came with the idea of nature reserve and things, and plant trees. SubhanAllah, in Islam, the Prophet ﷺ encouraged us to plant trees, and he said, if the Day of Judgment happened and you are planting a tree, carry on planting the tree. There's no point the Day of Judgment, but he said, insisting on you should plant so many trees, more and more. And the man, when they discovered the fossil fuels and things and started generating more CO2, this is where the global warming came. So Allah is the sustainer. He's there sustaining what He created all the time. So it's not only created, and you discover by science. You go and see this phenomena nobody can actually control. Now, when they went to discover Saturn, they sent Voyager 2 in space. It took 4 years and traveled 250 million miles to reach Saturn. It was late in reaching there. Like some of you come late to the class. How much late? 2.7 seconds. So the movement of Saturn, the movement of the Voyager in space, because the movement of Saturn is precise, it reached there as calculated. It took 4 years, crossed the space 250 million miles, arrived there 2.7 seconds late. Can you be like this Voyager 2? Arrive to the class exactly on time. But it means that Allah Azza wa Jal moving Saturn in precise movement. Precise movement. Even after 4 years, it was where it's supposed to be, and Voyager passed it and took pictures of it. So, sustainer. The second one I put here is to represent Allah on earth. When Allah created Adam, He said to the angels, إِنِّي جَاعِلٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ خَلِيفَةً. Like when the Prophet ﷺ died, Abu Bakr became Khalifa to represent Allah Azza wa Jalla on earth after the Prophet ﷺ died. When Abu Bakr died, Umar ibn Khattab became Khalifa. We call them Khulafa, plural. And when Allah created Adam, He said, I'm placing on earth a vicegerent, a representative to Allah Azza wa Jalla. So, if you really want to know the purpose of your life, are you representing Allah or not? If you're not representing Allah, you're not a vicegerent Allah wanted you to be. So you have to be representative of Allah. Be kind, be caring, be helpful, be productive, be constructive, be precise, be, like Allah is, representing Allah. كونوا ربانيين بما تعلمون الناس بما كنتم تدرسون. Allah said to the sons of Israel, be Rabbaniyin, representing Allah, showing the characters of Allah Azza wa Jal, which is kindness. And you're not going to be creator like Allah Azza wa Jal. You're not going to be sustainer. You can only sustain probably yourself and your children. But be kind, be caring, be helpful, be peaceful, be this, be that, be truthful, be trustworthy. To represent Allah Azza wa Jal. So who was true representative of Allah Azza wa Jal? All the messengers, all the prophets. And Allah said to Ibrahim, إِنِّي جَاعِلُكَ فِي الْأَرْضِ إِمَامًا. When Allah Azza wa Jal وَقَدْ ابْتَلَى إِبْرَاهِيمَ رَبُّهُ بِكَلِمَاتٍ فَأَتَمَّهُنْ قَالَ إِنِّي جَاعِلُكَ لِلنَّاسِ إِمَامًا. When Allah tested Ibrahim with a lot of tests, when he was thrown in the fire, when he asked to slaughter his son, when he was asked to spread Islam, when he went to build Kaaba and things, a lot of tests. When he was asked to circumcise himself, Ibrahim, he circumcised himself when he was 80. There were no circumcision before that. Why Allah delayed the circumcision till Ibrahim's time? You need to think of that, isn't it? This is one of the things. Yeah, Ryan? Why? We don't really know, but probably because people started multiplying in a large number and viruses start appearing. So virus could hide in the top of the organ, the genital of the man, transmitted to the woman, caused cervical cancer. Cervical cancer is much less in Muslim people because they circumcise. They don't give their wives the virus to develop cancer. The Jews are expected to circumcise, they do, and the Muslims, I don't know why why they chopped it out of the Bible, because it's in the Bible. But the Christians are supposed to follow the Torah as well as the Gospels. They are in one book. They read the same book. The Jewish read the Old Testament, the Christian read the Old Testament and the New Testament. So Ibrahim was made representative to Allah Azza wa Jal. Inni ja'iluka fil ardi. No, he was made an imam, a leader. And Dawood, Allah made him Khalifa fil ard. Ya Dawood inna ja'alnaka khalifatan fil ard. Because Dawood also was a prophet and a messenger. He had a book, Zabur, and he was, what else? Yeah?
King.
King. Very good. It's really good. Take a present. Give him to choose. Yeah, he was king. And this is what there's pens, there's chocolate, there's, yeah.
I'll take this one.
Yeah. So this is what the dream of the Israelis is, to bring the kingdom of Israel. The Star of David is on their flag. King David, they call him the one. But that's, you need to behave like Dawood. Be kind, be caring, be peaceful. They made that most of the Gaza people, and they destroyed 80% of the city. What sort of Dawood is that? Will Dawood come and do the same like what they're doing now in the sons of Israel in Israel? No. So they're not. In any way, they deserve to be representative of Dawood. So Allah Azza wa Jal wants us to represent Him on earth. And the third one, discover where the creation started. So you have them there. Discovered where the creation started. How the creation started. Allah gave us a hint in the Quran, in Surah Fussilat, that Allah created the heavens and earth in 3 stages. 2 days, the creation of the earth, and 2 days to create its water and vegetation, and 2 days to create its animal kingdom, and topped by the man. So how long each day is? How long each day? In the Quran, Allah Azza wa Jal said He created the heavens and earth at the same time. Now, many scientists think that the earth created later. That they say it's 5 billion years ago. While in the Quran, the earth is 13.7 billion years old. The earth obviously was a ball of fire, like the rest of the universe. All the universe was stars. And then some stars cooled down because they were small. Some stars exploded, and some stars still stars. There is a star they discovered, which is to move around that star, you need to go by plane for 1,112 years. It's so mighty. It's so big. So stars are different sizes, but the earth itself, according to the Quran, created as earth, but it was a ball of fire. In the Quran, Allah Azza wa Jal said, وَجَعَلْنَا اللَّيْلَ وَالنَّهَارَ آيَتَيْنِ فَمَحَوْنَا آيَةَ اللَّيْلِ وَجَعَلْنَا آيَةَ النَّهَارِ مُبْصِرًا. In Surah Isra. What that means? That the day and night were day. There were no night. There will be 2 chances to be day all the time. One of them, some scientists think that the air was so thin that the oxygen was able to transmit light, like the northern light. You go to the north of Earth, you could see the northern lights because the air is able to transmit electricity, ionized. And they said all the Earth was doing the same. There's a lot of light there's no night. And some say no, because it was a ball of fire, there's no night. When the Earth cooled down, then the sun, when you face the sun, there is light. If you're not facing the sun, it's night. So جعلنا الليل والنهار آيتين. The day and night were 2 signs of Allah Azza wa Jal, and then Allah erased the night, the light from the night, and left the night during the day. So you have a day and night, and the earth will move around, change. So this is what you are expected to discover. How the universe, the creation were created, the stages. And then Allah Azza wa Jal said in the Quran, وَجَعَلْنَا مِنَ الْمَاءِ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ حَيٍّ. We created from water every living thing. Now this has many meanings. One of it that every living thing has water in it. Cannot live without water. As some say, no, from water originated the creation. The first creations were in water, like the starfish and fish and things. And then the creation started on land and then became more complex and things. Now, Allah Azza wa Jalla said in the Quran, وَخَلَقْنَاكُمْ أَطْوَارًا. We created you on stages. Now, from the Quran, the species were created separately, not developed from each other like what Darwin say. Because there's no intermediate species. Like you have the starfish and you have the fish. You have no intermediate fish which have lost its branches and things. And so you have the starfish and then you have the amphibians. There's no creatures in between. There should be plenty of them. It doesn't exist, intermediate species. And the same when you go to jump to another species, there's differences within the species that changes, like differences between man. There's a black man, there's a white man, there's a brown man and woman, and there's changes according to the effect of the environment they live in. So if you go and live in Central Africa, I'm sure your grandchildren will become black. Originally, man was black. Adam was black. But then his colored disappeared when they came to live in the north. And when now the white man disappearing. Why? The white man disappearing.
They don't want any kids.
They don't have any kids, yes. That each woman, to keep the human race, each woman should have 1.8 children or more. If she has 1.8 children or less, the next year will be next phase will be 1.7, 1.565, 1.5. Now in Britain, 1.56. There's no reverse. You can't reverse it. Because 1.5 will produce less. You need 2 to produce 1. Yeah? You need 2 to produce 1, a man and a woman. You need 2 to produce 1. And if you don't produce 1, then you go disappear. But you need to produce 2.12 to keep the human race as it is, the number not to increase or decrease. Now in South Korea and Japan, most of the Scandinavian countries in Europe, and including America now, Ronald Reagan will say, we want babies. This is why he's anti-abortion. He wants babies. He doesn't want to import them from outside, doesn't want immigrants. Germany said, we need people, we're not reproducing, so they took 800,000 Syrian. They don't want the immigrants, and they want the immigrants at the same time. Because they are reducing in number, they don't have enough workers, so they want... So Allah Azza wa Jal want us to study the creation and how it's sustained, and where it started from, how it's developing. That's the purpose of life. It's what makes life enjoyable, because you go and discover what Allah did, what Allah changed, what Allah Azza wa Jal helping things to happen. If you don't interfere with earth, it will be the same. Every tree will be replaced by another tree. Don't worry about Allah Azza wa Jal. Will replace everything in the cycle, regenerate. But if you deliberately cut trees, like they cutting the Amazon forest, and they cut forests everywhere to create land to plant it and things, and then you're destroying the earth. If we produce a lot of CO2, then you're destroying the earth and you're increasing global warming. So that's what Allah wants us to discover, how universe, how the creation started, how it's sustained, how you protect it. Number 4, but here worship Allah Azza wa Jal, obey Allah. Worship Allah is obeying Allah. That's how you accept Him as a God. You do what He said, because He's most wise. He's like the one who knows what He's saying, and He knows what's best for you. And that's your obedience to Allah Azza wa Jal. And Allah in the Quran. The paper I gave you, I put all the verses from the Quran in it. So you could have a reference from the Quran for each of this purpose of life. So one of the purpose, the fourth one is worship Allah, obey Him, to survive safe in this earth. Number 5, get to know each other. Allah created us to get to know each other, not to kill each other. It will be interesting to see what one of the discovery I discovered when I came to Britain, Asian food. We didn't have curry in Syria. We didn't have tikka masala. We didn't have pilau, rice and things. And we didn't know. When we discovered, nice, we could eat this. And I discovered more of the Chinese food, more of the fish and chips. We didn't have in Syria fish and chips. Then we discovered people. We discovered their culture, their way of life, their behavior. Things. That's why Allah created us for. But not to kill each other, not destroy each other. To build planet Earth. وَاسْتَعْمَرَكُمْ فِيهَا. It's in the Quran. أَنْشَأَكُمْ مِنَ الْأَرْضِ وَاسْتَعْمَرَكُمْ فِيهَا. He made you to build Earth. So you build houses, you build countryside, you build farms, you have food farms, you have cow farms, you have chicken farms, so you reproduce all these in large quantity, so you live better life and things. So that's the purpose of life, to build planet Earth, not to destroy it. The Prophet ﷺ said, if you are planting a tree and the day of judgment takes place, carry on planting the tree. It's so important. If you plant a tree, the Prophet ﷺ said, you will be rewarded for every time any bird used it, any fruits taken from it, anybody used the shade to protect himself from the sun. You will be rewarded for that. So if you plant a tree, imagine sadaqah jariyah, ongoing charity, you will be rewarded for that. So that's build planet Earth. 7, discover what happened to those who rejected Allah. Tourism. So one of the purpose of you to go on journeys to discover what happened to people before us, people who rejected Allah Azza wa Jal. I always advise you to visit many places. One of it, Egypt. See the pyramids, what happened to Pharaoh when he rejected the Prophet Musa, and how they built these massive pyramids, and then they mummified themselves to come back to life or something their way. And they discovered Ramses II, who was challenging Musa ﷺ. When they took him to France, they discovered inside his body, inside his lungs, seaweeds and salt, sea salt. So they said, yes, he drowned, as the Bible says. But why his body saved and it's not eaten by the fish? Maurice Bukai, who was doing the post-mortem anatomy, he went to the Quran, read in the Quran that Allah said, ordered the sea to throw his body outside the sea for the Israelis to believe that, yes, he is dead. When Gaddafi was killed in Libya, they put him in a room and people were moving around him. Hey, he's dead. Our dictator is dead. There's no more dictators. So they were keen to see him dead. So the Israelis saw him dead. Then they believed that he died. But they were so terrified of him. And you go to Jordan, to Al-Batra. Al-Batra is a city, houses digged in the mountain. They made their houses in the mountain. You go there and the treasury in the mountain and things. And you go between, there's a gap between 2 mountains, 10 meters wide, I think, and 2 miles long, and 400 meters high. So you go through this splits in the mountain to reach Al-Batra city and see how Allah destroyed the people of Thamud. The people of Thamud, they dig their houses in the mountain to avoid being just thrown by any tornado, any flood, any this, any that. So how Allah killed them? Yeah, I will give you another present. Yeah?
He collapsed the mountain?
No, the mountain there, you can still go and see it.
Was it sound?
Sound, yeah. Someone take present. Yeah, very good. Sound. Sound kills, yes. Sound kills, sound destroys things. When we discovered that sound destroys things, the doctors, started using ultrasound to destroy stones in the kidneys. We used to open the abdomen, open the kidney, take the stone out, close everything, come back, and there's a lot of risks there. So when they discovered ultrasound can destroy things, so with the ultrasound, they can pinpoint where the stone is and destroy the stone, make it little sand, and comes out by itself with the water. So sound kills. When they go across the sound barrier, the Israelis were doing it a lot in Damascus, deliberately cross the sound barrier and create a vacuum and create a sound, a crush, and a sound destroys the single glazed windows. And they don't have double glaze in Syria, very rare. So they destroy 200-300 houses' windows deliberately. Why? Evilness is their nature. They killed 50,000 Gaza people, destroyed 80% of Gaza. Why is that? Because their evilness is nature. By nature, they are evil. Subhanallah. So, sound kills, and he killed. So when you go and see the Dead Sea, 400 meters under sea level, you know how Allah destroyed the Sadum and the Lut's tribe when they denied the Prophet and they were practicing homosexual at that time. So this is what we are expected to do, the purpose of creation, to go and discover what Allah did to those who refused to believe in Him, rejected Him, and they were aggressive on earth, mischieving on earth, destroying man and woman and children and animals and things. Number 8, discover what happened to those who were disruptive. And number 9, reproduce. Reproduce. Allah said, جَعَلْنَاكُمْ خَلَائِفَ فِي الْأَرْضِ, that we made you to reproduce yourself on earth. Now, what does make people now stop reproducing? Why they're not having children? What reason they gave? Yeah?
They don't have enough money to support their children.
A lot of the rich people, Scandinavian, they are actually making a lot of money. Why they wouldn't have children? In America, the same. South Korea is actually a rich country. Why?
Is it because they're working?
Yeah, they don't want, a lot of women don't want to lose their career. If she wants to have children, it will be 5 years work or 6 years work. It's not easy. You need carers, you can't go out, you can't enjoy yourself. But you might lose the ability to go through the ladder to higher jobs and things. Another reason? Yeah, that's a good reason. They don't want to stop working. They don't want to lose the chance to go high in the ladder. They want to enjoy themselves. They don't want to spend time. How you're all good, but looking at children these days, they're so naughty and so demanding and so unhelpful in the house. How many of you had a job in the summer? Paid job? None of you? Oh my God. I was working when I was 12, 13, 14. I did a lot of jobs I told you about. Productive time. I learned a lot by mixing with people, obviously. How to deal with people is very important. My cousin, I worked for him. He had a big store and he wants to send money to the bank to deposit. He used to give it to me. A paper bag, I'm carrying them, £10,000. Who will think that this boy carrying £10,000 and steal it from him? So I used to go to the bank it, bring the receipt, give it to him. So I was trusted first, obviously, £10,000, but I was a safe career. Now they need to employ big, like tanks moving on the road, protected from bullets and things. And they put the box from outside and push a button and it goes inside. They don't even open the door. While my cousin was using me as a courier to carry the money, was selling he used to sell flour and maize and things, grains. I was working textile industry, a company make textiles, bed sheets and things. They used to pay me by the number of bed sheets I produced a day. So you need to be quick and put the then we'll be going right. And we worked in a baker shop. Used to go with my another cousin. Used to go 3 o'clock in the morning. There's no buses and no trains and things. So we had a carriage with a horse pulling it. So both of us on the carriage, and the horses take us to the bakery shop. And in the summer, I used to enjoy the summer. So many don't want children because you need to take to play football, play music, and go to football, and go to the basketball. We used to go from Solihull, from Knoll to Berry Bar, the other side of Birmingham, to take Abada and Talha to play basketball with Birmingham Bullet. They were members of the club. Every Saturday we go there, me and my wife take them to the club. They play basketball, and then we waste the time either watching them or we go to nearby shops and things. And why to have children, waste all your Saturdays and then take them Sunday to school and things. So a lot of Westerners, they don't want to reproduce. Children, no, thank you very much. We had 2 cleaners now. One worked for us for 10 years now. She left. She never had children, never wanted children. Said, no, why to bother? And the current cleaner also, she doesn't want to have children. She comes and clean the house and go. My wife asks her, well, why not? Oh, no, I don't want to bother. So, but Allah wants us to reproduce, because don't worry. And I always think, why the judgment happens are you in a hurry? Why the judgment, Allah wants us to you have number 6, 7, 8, 9, reproduce, 10, 11. So reproduce, Allah will make the change, don't worry. The day of judgment will take place in, or Sayyidina Isa will come down in Damascus. And false Messiah will appear there. And Sayyidina Isa will go to fight a Messiah, and false Messiah, Dajjal, will melt, disappear, as if he's not a human. He just disappeared. And it might be a holograph or something, I don't know. But that will be in the Middle East. Well, what about America? What about Australia? Probably there will be no people there. Probably they will kill each other with atomic bombs or something. I don't know. But they're not reproducing, that for sure. They are going extinct. And some of them refuse to bring foreigners, like Japan. They don't allow foreigners there. South Korea have problem as well. And many... Now China going into the same problem now. They are having less reproduction. Because at the beginning they said no family should have more than 1. And now they reversed it because they found they are going downhill with the number of... and there's in Japan, there's 10-15% above 80 years old. They can't even save themselves. Who's going to save them? There's no youngsters to save them. So number 10, to be helpful to mankind, animals and plants. And number 11, to be leaders. This is why I said, Allah made Ibrahim a leader. Inni ja'iluka linnasi imama. Allah made Ibrahim imam after testing him. So we need a lot of you to become imam. So you need really to be trained as imam, a leader. Obviously, as lead in your characters, good characters, lead with your knowledge, lead with your, even if you better be rich really, because we don't want more poor Muslims. You have a lot of them. 1 billion, 1.2 billion poor. We don't have, probably 100 million Muslims are okay financially. So we need more people who are rich. We have enough poor Muslims. You always go to the mosques and they're collecting for Pakistan, they're collecting for Somalia, they're collecting for Sudan, they're collecting for Yemen, they're collecting for all the Muslim countries. Which Muslim country they're collecting for? Saudi? They probably soon they will be collecting for Saudi because running out of money, the money value goes down. Right, okay, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam Muhammad. We'll have to stop number 215 at the end of your